Hey everyone, this is Rachel, and today I'm here with a new scrapbooking process video. Thanks so much for joining me here, and I hope you enjoy. If you could flick me a thumbs up, that would be super awesome, and I would love it if you would become a subscriber. You can also click on the notification bell so you always know when I have a new video up. Alright folks, let's get going! Hey everyone, I'm kind of doing a little pre-voiceover. You're going to hear me talking at you in real time, and then I'm going to go into my voiceover again. I just want to share two things. First, I made this layout back in October 2019, and then promptly put it somewhere in my computer that I don't know. So I don't have the sketch that I was originally using. Also, I don't have any photos. So apologize for that. Instead, you get a photo of Xanthi judging me and you, because that's what she does. Second of all, if you guys could pay attention at the beginning, I'm going to be talking about something not necessarily about the layout. So I do need your cooperation and commentingness. All right, everyone, let's go. Hey everyone, so today I am working on a couple of different challenges. I am a patron of Heather's Crafty Life on Patreon, and she has a monthly scrap party, or bi-monthly, it's every other month. And so I'm working on this Laura Whitiker sketch for her scrap party. I'm also working on some things for the Secret Not Secret Kit Club monthly party. And for that, I'm doing Christie's Teacup Challenge. And I would tell you, I'm showing you the picture of the teacups right now, and I will put on the screen what number teacup I'm working on, because I cannot remember off the top of my head. And my Kindle has decided it no longer wants to connect to the internet. So as I'm using my phone to film this, I cannot show you on my Kindle which one I'm doing, and I do not remember the number. I was holding it and my phone and looking at for colors and what reminded me, and then when I went to go do it on my Kindle, I'm like, oh, you son of a gun, you are not working. Yeah, that's what you get for cheaping out and going for the Kindle, because all you ever do on that tablet is watch YouTube videos, and you didn't want to pay $300 for an iPad to watch YouTube videos, so you got the Kindle instead, and this is what happens when you cheap out. Breathe. All right, I've been working on that for about 20 minutes now, and just finally said, never mind, they'll just have to deal with it being written on the screen. All right, as I rant, let's actually talk about what I'm going to be using. So back at the end of September, I went to a crop with some friends of mine, and I made a whole bunch of page kits for that. And I had about 10 layouts that I didn't get done. I'm not concerned about that. I knew I wasn't going to be doing as many layouts as I brought. But I still have page kits put together for them. And this page kit was one of them. It actually, shockingly enough, and this was not planned, it just happened to be, these were the colors that worked for something I'd already made. This is actually from a crop I went to, hosted by Heather's Crafty Life. And so my thought is to go ahead and use the sketch by Laura Whitiker from Heather's challenge. And then also, as I said, the colors are from Christie's challenge. And I'm going to mash them together and work on a layout. So I'm going to go ahead, get started, get you guys put on fast forward. Hopefully the majority of that made sense to y'all. So let's get going. Yes, so while I was working on challenges for things happening back in October, I no longer have the close-up photos or the sketch, so I really do apologize for that. I thought this turned out pretty cute, so I wanted to go ahead and do it. When I found it last week, I was like, OMG, I cannot believe I never did this. So, but while I am choosing the paper that's going to be my main pattern paper design for this, I just wanted to talk to you about something. I've been trying to be more proactive in doing YouTube videos where I'm trying to make sure I'm making the type of YouTube videos that people want to watch, because obviously I enjoy making them, and if it's anything too onerous on me, I'm not going to change it. But one thing that people mentioned was how fast they do their layouts or how fast they have their layouts sped up and everything, and I realized I was speeding mine up much more than other people are. And so I wanted to ask you guys who watch my videos, what would you prefer? So this video is actually slightly slower than I would normally do a layout. I'm going to put another video up right after this one. So this one will come out at, say, probably 8 or 9 o'clock, and then the one after that will come out at the 15-minute mark. So that one is going to be called Scrapbooking Process Video, Just the Best Thing. And so if you could watch both, or if you happen to know right off of the bat, let me know. Do you prefer it this speed, which probably averages out, my videos would end up being 14 to 16 minutes, or do you prefer it the faster speed, in which case my videos would end up being 9 to 12 minutes? So for me, it's not that big of a deal, other than obviously I have more time to fill talking on videos this slow, not slow, but at this speed. Never have I been accused of not having anything to talk about. So like I said, not really an issue for me. But I just wanted it to be that, you guys are getting the videos you want, because something like that is not a big deal to me. All right, so let's actually talk about the layout. I've chosen this plaid piece as my angled pattern paper that was part of the sketch. Now, I stuck very closely to the sketch. I do know that. The only difference is because of I had fussy cut out some things for a previous layout, and because the way they were fussy cut out, I angled my paper upper left to lower right, versus in the sketch it was upper right to lower left. That's basically the only difference for this. So what I've done again is fussy cut out more pieces of paper. This is one of the lines where all I had was paper. I had no embellishments for this line, which is an Echo Park crafting themed line. So I've been using the papers that have cut apart icons on them. So the camera, the typewriter, the florals, the little wreathed things with sayings on them, and using them as my embellishments by fussy cutting them out. So because I've got a mix of white backed things and colored backed things, I want to ink all of them up, and I've already created this wreath, and I realized how dumb I was in doing this. So now what I'm going to do is piece it together using my liquid glue. I did also want to say I started off with 3 2x3 photos, but decided in the end just to use 2. In reality, they were almost all the same photo. The only difference is one was horizontal and 2 were vertical. The one on the lower left right now was taken by Heather, who was Heather's Crafty Life. She's a YouTuber as well, and she took that with her selfie stick. And then the subject of this layout, who was our waiter for that weekend, he took the second photo, so you can see half of his face. The third one was also taken by Heather, but as the subject of this layout is, his name is Tyler, I just wanted to tell a silly little story, and so it made more sense just to have the 2 vertical photos for the design, and the third one didn't add anything to the story, so I didn't feel I needed to include it. So I've gone ahead, glued my little semicircle half a wreath, and then also added in the inked the outliers, so the things that aren't necessarily going to be attached. And what I'm going to do now, and this was also in the sketch, is I'm putting that semicircle back, because what I'm going to do is using my mists, I'm going to spatter on Sweetheart, Jenny B. Blue, Before Dark, and then Heidi Swap Gold Color Shine. The 3 other mists are from Shimmer's Paints. So I just repeat that 4 times, and I add a little bit more of the gold because I've got that more on the right hand side, so I wanted to add some more onto the left hand side. You aren't going to see all of this because that semicircle of cut aparts or fussy cutting is going to go over it. So I'm kind of waiting for this to dry. I do trim out that tone on tone dark pink piece. Once again, there was a diagonal pattern. I think they probably used washi tape, but I went ahead and just trimmed out a piece of paper. Finally, I gave up and pulled out my heat tool to make this dry a little bit faster, simply because I wanted to work on it. That was it. I was being oh, sugar. What's coming to mind is lazy. That's not what I mean. I was anxious. I was anxious to get started and keep going, so I just pulled out my heat tool rather than waiting for it to dry, which can make the background bubble a little bit, but it's fine. So I'm going to go ahead, add some more liquid glue. Because I'm going on top of that mixed media and it's not 100% dry, I didn't want to use my ATG. I also wanted to not pull on the fussy cut pieces with my ATG because I was afraid. If you noted when I was gluing them down, I did not glue them down fully. I just kind of tacked them together. So I'm getting my photos in place, and there is that one piece of white cardstock you see. So I am going to pull in one of the fussy cut pieces I originally had on the outside of the wreath. Instead, it's just going to be used to fill in that inside piece. So now I'm adding the other pieces that were not originally glued down in my little semi-wreath thing. And then I'm going to go ahead and glue down the piece I trimmed to be my edging piece. Now, this doesn't necessarily reach all the way across as it should because it is 12 by 12, and on an angle you need a longer piece of paper. It's a 1/4 inch at the end of the layout, and if that's what people are looking at, then obviously I have done not a fabulous job in the layout, and I thought this turned out cute. So I then went and pulled two different black alphas. One is a thicker, and I don't remember what it is called, but it is an older thicker. It could be root beer, but I'm not 100%. And then the other is a mini tile alpha, and that is from Scraptastic Club, which is an old kit club that no longer does kit clubs. Actually, I think they moved on to planner stuff. I don't know if they still do planner stuff, but that was what we were told when they discontinued the kit club. So my entire title is going to be Dinners with Tyler. The reasoning being, we had a waiter who was very humorized by us ladies scrapbooking in a room all day long and not leaving a hotel, and he was funny and he was sweet, and he just had a good time, razzing us and stuff like that. So I just wanted to talk about that, as it was actually ended up being not the most important part of the retreat, but just it wound up being part of the retreat. So I am using some Pretty Little Studio little label journaling boxes, and I chose to use 3 of them, one trimmed in pink, one in aqua, and one in black, versus using one large journaling block, because I thought if I'd had that one large white and black element down at the bottom, it would have pulled your attention to that first, when obviously what I want first to be noticed is my photo. And I know you're saying, well, you have all that stuff around your photo, but if you note, it is set off by color differences. The photos have a lot of neutrals in them, which is why I went for colorful embellishments behind them. So I'm finishing off this layout by using a whole bunch of Pink Fresh Studio enamel dots. I'm spreading them out along where I misted with my sprays, and then also adding them just down by the title as a little embellishment cluster there. Alright, this layout is complete once I finish spreading the joy with enamel dots. So I will just remind you, If you guys can leave a comment either in this video or the Just the Best Thing video, whether you prefer slightly slower and slightly longer or vice versa. All right, everyone, thanks for joining me. Have a great day. Bye.